And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we will be discussing a tweet and an interview that Stephen A. Smith made in the interview that he did with the Carlos Watson show. Stephen A. Smith came out and stated, I wake up every morning with two thoughts. Number one, how do I make my bosses more money? And number two, how do I get some of it? And of course, the Hoteps, Back to Africa, Red, Black, and Greens, B1s, Do for Selfers, Kwame Browns of the world, they came out and they started attacking him. And they started calling him all types of slaves, coons, self-hating black man, Uncle Tom, trying to keep you on the plantation. And what I find alarming about all of this boss talk and all of this do for self talk is that when you look at the data of business owners, of small business owners, primarily African American business owners, what you can take away from the data is those of you that are doing for self, you're losing. You're losing horribly. See, what many of you think is doing for self and starting a business, many of you own a hobby. Many of you own a job. You are underfunded. You are undercapitalized. Many of you don't even have employees. So you're not building your community, right? So when I look at the data, and that's what we're going to focus on today, is really looking at the data. All of these people that you hear and you see on Instagram that's making these type of statements, being provocative, they're not really winning. And when you listen to what he's saying, many of you, you're hearing the first part, how do I make more money for my bosses? But you're missing the second part. He's saying, how do I get some of it? You consistently hear me speak about on this channel, about you being more valuable in the marketplace. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I want to employ and hire people that have that mindset. See, everyone can't be a boss. I know in your world, all we got to do is just do black business. All we got to do is just do for self. Well, then who's going to run your company? Because guess what? This microphone was created and made in a factory somewhere by an employee. If everyone's a boss and everyone's doing for self, well, who's going to manufacture and build the stuff and the goods and services that we need? Who's going to operate and run your company and run your business if everyone's just half-assing it at work so that they can go and be a boss? And see, when I hear this rhetoric from people like Kwame Brown and they're talking about, white zaddy, we got to just get off the plantation and we could go start our own. Well, it's ironic because last time I checked, YouTube is owned by white zaddy. Last time I checked, your ISP, your internet service provider, is owned and controlled by white zaddy. When you say that Stephen A. Smith can just go and start his own podcast because he's big enough now, well, who owns Spotify? Who owns iTunes? Is that black owned? Is that pro-black? Is that Hotepery? Is that a Back to Africa streaming platform? Or is that owned by white zaddy? This iPhone that you use, the Android phone that you use, who created that? Did the Back to Africa Hotep Red, Black, and Green create that? Or was that created by white zaddy? The app Instagram that you're using, that you're trolling me on. Wow, didn't Facebook buy that for $1 billion over a decade ago? See, when you start sitting and listening to the foolishness that these people are spewing, you start saying to yourself, what the fuck is this about? What is it really about? Is it about building black businesses? Is it about building black people? Is it about equipping us with the information so that we can get through this fourth industrial revolution? So that we can get through the Great Reset? Or is this just about, we got this group over here versus that group? Because Kwame Brown is sitting up here and he's saying that, it's just a go along, get along gang and everyone's attacking me, right? That Stephen A. Smith and people like Chris Broussard, they get paid to attack black men. But then when I come to his YouTube channel, right? Because see, I'm a three-dimensional thinker and I look at the videos, all he is doing is talking about other black men. So wait, his platform is about talking about and exposing the go along, get along gang that attacks black men, but yet he sits on his platform all day long and he talks about other black men. So which one is it? Because when I look at his channel and I ask myself, okay, outside of the hotepery, back to Africa, red, black, and green, B1, do for self rhetoric, what is the real solution that he's offering you? Because I don't see the solution, because all I see is a black man talking about other black men. But yet somehow what he's doing is noble because he's talking about the black men that you don't like. So then therefore that's good. But everyone's up in arms about Lil Nas X and BET. Okay, so why are you not talking about Viacom? Why is he not talking about Robert Backish, Kent Altman, James Boombasse, Krista A. Dalmonte, Wade Davis? Because see, he knows better. He's not going to give them any mama's cooking because he knows if he starts trying to give them some mama's cooking, they're going to kick his ass off this platform. See, this is why I don't take none of you hoteps, back to Africa's, red, black, and greens, B1s serious. I don't take none of you serious. Kwame Brown is no different than Stephen A. Smith. He's just a different side of the coin. It's just a different side of the coin. He won't dare speak about Viacom and the executives and what they're promoting because Viacom owns BET. So if you got a problem with Lil Nas X, don't talk about Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X, or Nas X as you call him, he's just the symptom, right? He's just the puppet, right? He's just a part of the go along, get along gang following the agenda. So if you know your enemy, why are you not talking about your enemy? Because see, I believe it was Shahrazad Ali. She's been talking about putting the black man in a dress for decades. So you're not spewing nothing new about, oh, he's speaking revolutionary. He's saying the same shit that we've been hearing from Khalid Muhammad, from Farrakhan, from Shahrazad Ali. We've been hearing this for decades. What is the solution? When you go here and you listen to this man and you listen to the rhetoric that he's spewing and he's calling Stephen A. Smith a coon and he's on the plantation. Okay, great. You're entertained. Well, his solution is we need trades in the school. We need some STEM. We don't need that. You know why we don't need that? Because we have something known as the internet, right? And on the internet, there's a beautiful website called Khan Academy. And on Khan Academy, for free, you don't need to go to a trade school to learn this. You can learn this on khanacademy.org. You can learn algebra, geometry, algebra 2, trigonometry, pre-calculus, computer programming for free. So we don't need trades in the school. What we need is black people to turn off Kevin Samuels, Tariq Nasheed, Boyce Watkins, and Kwame Brown and get to fucking work. That's what we need. We don't need any more of this rhetoric. Think about this. You got hundreds of thousands of people watching this man give you information that's basic information. Oh, robots is taking your job. Newsflash. Great. Tell us something we don't know. I've been talking about that for how long? Guess what? If you don't like Khan Academy, there's something known as open courseware. You can come here on YouTube and type in MIT, and you could take MIT courses. You could take a computer science course on MIT, Introduction to EECS, Mathematics for Computer Science for free. So why do we need a trade program? Why do we need trade school? We have YouTube. We have Google. Hey, free code camp. Free code camp. You could go learn how to code and build applications for free. You start sitting here and listening to this stuff and you say to yourself, wow, this makes no sense to me. Guess what? You want to go to Harvard? You can go to Harvard for free by going to CS50 on YouTube, a whole semester worth. Just go to here, right here, the playlist. And they have it all right here for you for free. So why do we need these trades in school? Oh, I know what you hoteps are going to say. Oh man, but you don't get a certificate for free. Yes, you can. You can actually go to cs50.com and you can apply, and I think it's 50 or $100, and you can actually get a certificate showing that you completed one of their open coursewares. So at a certain point, you have to start saying to yourself, are you just consuming this because it's race content? Are you just consuming this because it's controversial, right? Because it's provocative? Because when I start looking at the data, and we're going to get into the data tells you that all of these business owners, all of these do-for-selfers, all of these bosses, they're not really winning. Stephen A. Smith did not say, make your boss money and just sit down and be quiet and make massive money. He then said, number 2, how do I get some of it? You will increase your earning potential by becoming more valuable in the marketplace. See, what you don't hear Kwame Brown talking about, the Boyce Watkins of the world talking about, what you don't hear the Dame Dashes of the world talking about, is that rather than trying to put down the employee that's going to build your business, how about we create a better and a much more fair and equitable system? How about we create a system where the dollar is not based upon inflation and debt? How about we create a better monetary system? How about we start plugging into some of these cryptocurrency systems and networks that's being built so that we can facilitate a better economy that's not based upon a fractional reserve debt-based system? That's the problem. How about we fix our money? Not run from the problem, not go run and try to be a boss, because here's the reality. The average small business that's successful, and don't worry, I'm going to give you the data to back up what I'm saying. The average business that's successful, small business, earns about $70,000 a year. Earns about $70,000 per year. And they have less than 4 employees in most cases. So you're not running a business. A business, like right now, I'm a self-made millionaire. I'm doing good for myself. I would not consider myself no mogul, no tycoon, no businessman. I don't have any employees. I'm not employing anyone. I'm not providing anything for people. A business is when you are actually, you have infrastructure, warehouses, contracts, employees, you're paying them a salary, 401k, health insurance. When you look at people like Boyce Watkins and they talk all that business stuff to you, they have self-employed contractors, subcontractors, 1099 workers. They're barely even paying people health insurance. See, what we should be talking about is fixing our money, is fixing our system, is getting out of a debt-based, inflation-based economy and a monetary system. That's the shit we should be talking about. Not talking about sprinkling some of mama's cooking. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is a coon. Why? Because he understands that he wants to be more valuable in the marketplace. What entrepreneur would want to hire someone telling you, hey, I don't really want to work hard. I'm only doing this to get a paycheck so that I can go and do my own thing on the side. Really? That makes no sense. It's idiotic. It's foolishness. And it doesn't make sense. Now, again, why is he not talking about the puppet masters? Call them by name. Because see, the same way that he's saying the media makes it easy to target black men, us as a community, because we are binary thinkers, we make it easy to attack our own as successful as well. Because see, in the Hotep world, based upon the Hotep logic, we don't have enough representation in corporate America. But then we get a Stephen A. Smith, and instead of us trying to build a bridge with a Stephen A. Smith, we attack him because he may not agree with us. So he only attacks black men, and then Kwame Brown and the Carcinos and the Boyces of the world, they turn around and they attack the successful corporate black men. So basically what we do, we spend all of our time attacking each other, debating with each other, critiquing each other, exposing each other. So think about this. You have Boyce Watkins. He claims to love black people. Oh my God, he loves all black people. Yet he can't get along with any black people. He has a falling out with Umar. He has a falling out with Michi. He has a falling out with Yvette and Tone. But he loves black people. Okay, now we have Kwame Brown, right? He's Mr. Pro-Black, Blackity black, we got to stick together. B1, let's do our own thing. Wow. But then now him and Boyce Watkins can't get along. Right? Then him and Steven Jackson can't get along. Now, Steven Jackson, he's out here. He's at the memorial for George Floyd. He's Mr. Pro. So all of these pro-blacks, all of these hoteps, all of these back to Africas, they vibrating high. They rubbing their chakras. They can tap into Mama Oya. They're not coons, but they can't get along. Right? But people like me and Stephen A. Smith, we're coons. But all of these quote-unquote alpha males, all of these strong alpha males, Umar, Polite, none of them can build anything together. See, when you take a step back and you ask yourself some real legitimate questions, and I'm looking for it because I want to make sure that I'm accurate in what I'm pulling up, right? I want to make sure that I'm speaking accurately about what I'm about to speak about. Right here, Kwame Brown earned $64 million as an NBA player. I'm not pocket watching. I want to ask you a question. Since he has all of the solutions, I don't want to hear about the charities that he's donated to. What has he done with that $64 million? What infrastructure did he invest in? Because see, Umar Johnson right now need the HVAC money. Right? Umar Johnson need money for the HVAC. This man earned $64 million. Why can't he get together with his other fellow, Hotepa, back to Africa, red, black, and green? Why can't he give Umar the $500,000 for the HVAC in the school? He loved black people. He want to get rid of the boule. He want to get rid of the go along, get along game. Why can't all of these masterful personalities come together? Because what they're saying is bullshit and it's not fucking practical. It's not practical what they're preaching. It sounds good because see what many of you have done is you've turned in your church, you've walked away from your religion, and you've bought into the religion of Hotepery, of back to Africa-ry, of B1. And what you do is you'll sit here for a whole hour, an hour and 43 minutes, and you'll listen to him talk about Zaddy Boy speaking the truth. That's what you'll do. But what you won't ask this man is what infrastructure have you built? Because see, I live in a 5-sense reality. I have to be able to see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, and hear it. Because I need to be able to quantify what you're saying to me. So if you're telling me that what I'm doing is wrong and that I should follow what you're telling me, then I need a plan. I need a blueprint. Because a year from now, 3 years from now, I need to be able to come back and measure what it is that you're telling me. But see, y'all don't live in that because y'all like the drama, the beef, the exposing, the coon, the this, the that, because it sounds good. It's good rhetoric. But the data tells you something different. I hear people coming here and saying, oh, they only talk about black athletes. Stephen A. Smith only talks about black athletes. Okay, let's start getting into the information. According to racial equality activist Richard Lapchick, the NBA in 2020 was composed of 74.2% black players, 16.9% white, and 2.2% Latino players. Wow. Why would you talk about black players in the NBA? I don't know. Maybe because 75% of the players in the NBA are black? Maybe because the NBA is one of the most popular sports, so therefore you're going to have more media coverage of the NBA in the NFL. Why? Because they're popular sports, maybe? Like, you know, you sit here and you go, wow, they're only talking about black athletes. I don't know. Maybe because 74.2% of them are black? I don't, help me, because see, I'm trying to make the bridge, because see, I'm a coon, I'm an agent, I'm an Uncle Tom, I'm a sellout. I already know what you're going to call me. I'm a bussy warrior, I'm a part of the LGBTQ mafia, Little Nas X is paying me so that I can come here and go after your heroes, right? I'm only here to attack black men. Right? This is what I'm here for. Now let's listen to Stephen A. Smith and what he said.
and a blackface at that, which is not something that you ever anticipated.
Is Jay Cutler right now not the epitome of white privilege in the United States of America? What did he do to deserve this job?
I wake up every morning with two thoughts.
Is Jay Cutler right now not the epitome of white privilege in the United States of America? What did he do to deserve this job?
Is Jay Cutler not white? Maybe I don't understand. Maybe you can help me understand. Is Jay Cutler not white? Because clearly Stephen A. Smith is attacking and critiquing him. And he's talking about white privilege. Oh, we're going to skip over that, right? Because he doesn't talk about white people. He doesn't critique white people. You skip over that part. Because again, many of you suffer from confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance. You're only looking for information to facilitate what you already believe, and you're going to block out anything that's a counter to what you're saying. You leave it. Now look at the person. Bring up Porzingis. So forget that he criticized Jay Cutler. That's white. Now you tell me he doesn't talk about white players. I just showed you him talking about a white player. Forget that. That doesn't matter. What about Porzingis? Do you understand how intellectually dishonest that is? How intellectually dishonest that is. Intellectually dishonest. I just played a video of him talking about a white man, a white player in the NFL. You skip over that because you're only looking for information to validate what you're saying. That's all you're doing. You're not looking for information yet I'm asking you a question. Where do you see Kwame Brown calling out white people, white zaddy, by name? Where do you see that? Go on his channel, not him mentioning the BET Awards. Where is he actually talking about them by name? He got all that energy, all that smoke for Matt Barnes, all that energy, all that smoke for Steven Jackson. But you won't see it because he knows better. He understands what he's doing. Now, let's get to some more of the data, some more of the information, because let you tell it, all of these black businesses, they're winning everywhere. They're winning everywhere. Oh, look at this person. Stephen A. Smith made a career off of Kwame Brown. No, Kwame Brown, let's just be honest about it. Where's the video at? Where's the video? Let's find the video with Kobe Bryant. Here, where is it at? Here we go. This is Kobe Bryant talking about how Kwame Brown, a professional athlete, #1 pick, told him not to pass him the ball. Don't tell me that people are attacking Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown did not live up to expectations. He lives in a profession that you can be publicly critiqued. Just like you could be praised, you can be critiqued.
His head again now. I mean, he may go the rest of the year.
See what I'm saying? So I don't talk about these guys. Things that I say, you're comfortable saying it to them, and I've said this to them. And so I'm surrounded by these players, Detroit players, and Kwame's under the basket all by himself. Literally, like, all by himself. So I'm passing the ball, and bounds, it goes out of bounds. So we go back to the timeout, I'm pissed, right? He goes, hey, I was like, yeah, I know. This is how I'm talking to him. Really bad. Like, moving up. He's like, I said, you don't be over the part. She just told me. I said, well, I'm going to let her to you. He said, well, I'm nervous. I'm catching the down and only the free throw. Sit down.
So, okay, I'm a coon, I'm an agent, I'm an Uncle Tom, Bussy Warrior, self-hating black man. I don't know what I'm talking about. Kobe Bryant is one of the greatest players, if not the second greatest player to ever walk the face of this earth and play basketball. And he's talking about how Kwame Brown didn't want him to pass him the ball. Now, I'm going to put that video here, right? I'm going to put that video here for you. So, when Stephen A. Smith is showing the videos of Kwame dropping the ball, Kwame Brown dropping the ball, it's relevant because Kobe Bryant, the greatest player, said, In the game, Kwame Brown told him, don't pass me the ball because I may drop it and I don't want to have to shoot free throws. Think about it. Now, here we go. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Say I don't know what I'm talking about. They put out a report, the Small Business Credit Survey. And it says, firms of color were more likely to experience financial and operating challenges stemming from the pandemic. These challenges are particularly silent given the important role business ownership plays in wealth building and employment in communities of color. Again, I'm going to share this in the chat so that you can go out here and educate yourself, because I believe in educating yourself. And I just want to highlight something here, because let social media tell it. Let the Black Business School tell you. Let Boyce tell you. Man, all we got to just do is do black business, man. And we could close the racial wealth gap in a generation. And I'm being sarcastic there because it's bullshit. Revenue size of the firm, right? For black people, right here, 52% of black businesses make less than $100,000. More than half of black businesses. More than half of black businesses. Only 11% of black businesses earn over $1 million in revenue. This was in 2020. This is in 2020. Now I know you're going to say, oh, the pandemic. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm building something here, because you're going to see a common theme. So basically, half of black people are in that threshold of making less than $100,000. When you look at employees, 1 to 4 employees, more than 76% of black businesses have less than 4 employees. Have less than 4 employees. So when you hear people talking about all of these black businesses, most black people, they're self-employed and they have a hobby. They have an underfunded hobby. And what they effectively are doing is they're leaving a quote unquote plantation to go own a job. They don't own a business. They own a job, because they have to work 60 plus hours a week. Now, again, don't worry. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to keep you long. What I want to do is I want to equip you with information so that you can know when people say Stephen A. Smith, when he puts out this tweet is blasphemous. It's coon energy. I wake up every morning with 2 thoughts. Number 1, how do I make my bosses more money? And number 2, how do I get some of it? Because Stephen A. Smith understands by being valuable in the marketplace and make some more money. He's not saying I just want to make my boss money and walk away. Why does LeBron James earn the money that he earns? Why does Giannis earn the money that he earns? Because he's valuable in the marketplace. And then you can go to your boss or your employer, and you can now command more money in the marketplace. Stephen A. Smith is saying he wants to be more valuable so that he can earn more money in the marketplace. You're telling me, and you're saying, oh man, he should just quit and go start his own thing. Newsflash, White Zaddy owns Spotify. White Zaddy owns YouTube. The platform right now that Kwame Brown is sitting on, Zaddy owns this. The microphone that he's using was made by White Zaddy. The ISP, the internet that he's using, White Zaddy. Makes no sense. It's illogical, the things that you're saying. I want to read this right here. This is from score.org. Small business can be a lonely venture. A report, 8 insights of the state of black entrepreneurship, from American Express reports 47% of African American small business owners run their businesses by themselves. 47% of African American small business owners run their businesses by themselves. And when you look at the Federal Reserve data, and they sit up here and they say 76% have less than 4 employees, have less than 5 employees, you see the common theme here? You're not rebuilding Black Wall Street. You have a hustle. You're selling t-shirts. Great. You're an affiliate marketer. Great. You're a network marketer. Great. It's not business. That's a hustle. Business is when you employ people. Business is when you own infrastructure, when you own banks, when you own stadiums, when you own car companies and car manufacturing plants. That's business. That's real business. You own a hustle. You own no banks. You own no infrastructure. But you're going to sit up here and tell me how Stephen A. Smith, he should walk off the plantation. Why? And own a job? And own a job? This is the reality this is what you're telling black people to do? Again, instead of you trying to figure out ways to fix the system. No, you're not talking about ways to fix the system to make it more equitable and fair. People should be able to work and earn a fair wage and earn a living salary. The dollar should not inflate at 3% per year. The taxpayer should not be on the hook for bankers' losses. We have a problem with our money. We have a problem with our system. And running and starting your business won't fix that. A small business owner makes an average of $71,900 in the United States, according to PayScale's 2017 data, ranging from $29,365 to $156,227,000. And then if you come back over here to this article basically says the same thing. The concerning stat is about earned average revenue. African-American businesses owned by women in this report earned an average of $24,000 per firm versus $142,900 among all woman-owned businesses. Right? Now remember, this stat I just gave you, small businesses on average make $71,900. This is including all people. But when you strip it out and you focus on like women, like I'm giving you different angles, $24,000 on average. So where are the bosses at? Where's the black girl magic at? Where's the winning at? Where's the bossing up at? Where's the leveling up happening at? Wealth is calcifying at the top 1%. The 1% is getting richer because of the Cantillon effect, because they sit closer to the money printer. Kwame Brown is offering you no solutions to those problems. Calling Stephen A. Smith a coon is not offering a solution to the problem. Talking about he should just go start his own thing is not a solution to the problem. But see, do you think Kwame Brown is reading Federal Reserve data, Federal Reserve reports? Do you think Kwame Brown is educating himself about these things? Or do you think that this is just a revenge tour? Do you think the Hotep Back to Africa Red, Black, and Green B1 that's sitting on here, that's attacking Stephen A. Smith, that's calling him a coon, that's calling him an agent, that's telling you to go out here and just do for self, do you think that they're reading these reports? Do you think that they're educating themselves? The Dame Dashes of the world, who's saying he's a tycoon, he sells oil. You think he's reading these reports? Great question, Guardian Dog Media. Here's a solution right now, right? Let's listen to Kwame Brown, and then I'm going to give you a solution right now. Follow me. I'm glad you asked that question.
Understand, now you want to tweet out, you get some trades. Why don't you just say mama's cooking was right? We need to put trades back in these damn schools. Isn't Amazon allegedly firing a lot of people for robots? I think I saw something like that. I think maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I think I saw that. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I saw something about some robots.
His solution is we need to put trades. Okay, it's Kwame. Excuse me. It's Kwame, not Kwame. Cool. Whatever you want to say. Okay. He said put trades back in the school. We don't need trades in the school. We have YouTube for free. What black people need to do, because he's speaking to a black audience, the solution is this. Turn Kwame Brown off. Turn Boyce Watkins off. Turn Tariq Nasheed off. Turn Kevin Samuels off. And instead of watching them, go take some open courseware courses, and now you can go and get the jobs. The trade school that he's talking about, you can just go learn for free. You don't got to go back to trade school. See, I don't think many of you understand that everything is going digital now. That what happened with this pandemic was just a test trial, that the world is further and further going digital as we speak, and Zoom and online schooling, that's only going to become more and more prevalent. So you don't need to go pick up these trades. You can go to the YouTube University and you can learn for free. You can go to Khan Academy and you can learn for free. The hour and 40 minutes that you're spending listening to him throw 4th grade and 3rd grade juvenile insults at Matt Barnes, his petty revenge tour, guess what you can go and do? You can go and educate yourself. Right? Now he said, look, I'm such a hater, but Kwame Brown's not a hater. He's not a hater. Talks about black men all day long. But I guess if he talks about black men that you don't like, then it's okay, right? As long as it's black people you don't like. Another thing I want to share with you. Many people assume that being a boss means a flexible schedule and the ability to work from home whenever you like. Unfortunately, it's not entirely the case. While business owners do have flexibility, they also have two bosses, their customers and their employees. The buck literally stops with them. So they must work exceptionally hard to keep up, and that extra hard work doesn't always translate to a higher salary. Business owners who work nights, 81% do. Business owners who work weekends, 89% do. And this is from Fundera. And these are surveys that they're taking from businesses. So when you say, Stephen A. Smith, just quit, get off the plantation. Many of you're buy back the block, do for self. It's not working for you. The data tells you that. The data is telling you that. When you look at this, right? The true failure rate of small businesses. See, this is the stuff that they won't tell you when you go and start a business. They're not going to tell you about the chargebacks that you're going to get, about the sleepless nights that you're going to have, about the fact that you're not going to have enough money to pay people, so you're going to have to do all of the work by yourself in most cases. And then you're going to do all this, and most likely you're going to end up failing. Have you heard that 90% of new businesses fail? Or that 50% of new businesses fail? Stick around in the entrepreneurial community long enough, and you'll likely hear a wide spectrum of claims, mostly falling between these two extremes. But what is the true failure rate of small businesses? And should it influence your decisions as an entrepreneur? What we know about the failure rate of small businesses, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, again, this is not me making this up, this is government data, as reported by Fundera, approximately 20% of small businesses fail within the first year. By the end of the second year, 30% of businesses will have failed. By the end of the 5th year, about half will have failed. And by the end of the decade, only 30% of businesses will remain, a 70% failure rate. A 70% failure rate. So why, someone just said, why are you not encouraging people? Why would I encourage you to do something that I know took me 14 years of my life? 14 years of sacrifice for me to get to where I'm at right now. And guess what? The only reason why I started to get successful is because I decided to go back to school, go get a job, and I decided to work full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune, and take the money from my job that I was working on and invest it in my business. I didn't just get up and go, oh, I'm just going to leave. Oh, I'm going to start my business with nothing. And guess what? My business is growing. I need to employ people. Do you think I want to employ people who are going to tell me, man, I'm just here to get a paycheck because I'm about to go do my own thing? Or do you think I want to employ people that are saying to me, I want to try to make you as much money as possible so that I can make more money? Which person do you think I want to hire? Which person would you think I want in my business? Which person do you think has the proper attitude? Because see, a smart person understands. It's a movie called The Spook That Sat by the Door. I watched it years ago. It's a really, really good movie. And I believe it's a book as well, too, where if you truly want to compete with the dominant society, what you do is you go into their networks, you go to their schools, you go into their businesses, and you gather resources, you gather knowledge, you gather strategy, you network, you put the proper infrastructure in play so that now when you want to try to go and attack them and compete with them, you know where they're weak, where they're vulnerable at. What you don't do is say, well, hey, I'm going to leave one plantation and go to the YouTube plantation. Or I'm going to go to the Spotify plantation. Or I'm going to go to the, iTunes plantation. That doesn't make any sense. Because you're still controlled. Because guess what? YouTube controls what you say. YouTube controls how much money you make. There's no security in YouTube. You can lose your YouTube channel at any moment. They can deplatform you like they did Farrakhan at any time. Only a smart person would know these things. It's the same thing with the Matrix. What do you think Neo had to do at the end? He had to go to the architect. He had to go plug back into the source. You can't overthrow the Matrix from the outside. You got to go back in. But these are the people you listen to. And see, Dame Dash was the one that started all of this boss talk. And I just want to play these things so that we can understand what the foolishness that's in our community. Do you understand how ignorant and just dangerous that rhetoric is? The shades that he's wearing was made by an employee. The watch that he's wearing was manufactured and made by an employee. When your internet goes out, right? For all of you bosses, all of you do-for-selfers, when your internet goes out, what do you have to do? You have to get on the phone and call an employee. When you go out to eat, an employee brings you your damn food. Do you understand how ignorant, how narcissistic, and how destructive that mentality is? You're dehumanizing people that work. When you're in the back of your Rolls Royce getting chauffeured around, that's an employee driving you around. An employee made this phone. An employee created the software that powers these applications. An employee right now is managing the servers that's allowing you to be able to query this data and query this information. Everyone's going to be a boss? Who's going to work? How does your packages get to your door? FedEx, UPS? Or I guess an entrepreneur is going to bring you your packages. When you get sick and you have to go to an emergency room and you need stitchers and you need medication, I guess an entrepreneur is going to give you that. Because we don't need no workers, we don't need no employees. This is the foolishness. Listen to what a person says. Is telling someone that we need. Listen to this. He says, no, ignorance is you telling people to settle with being an underclass. Who said people need to be an underclass? We need a better system. We need a fair and equitable system. We need better money. We need better government. We need better systems to govern people. This is where decentralization comes into play. This is where crypto comes into play. We need rules without rulers. We need a better form of money. We need a more transparent and open government. We need transformative politics. See, this goes back into the ADOS conversation, what Yvette and Tone were talking about. And I don't care what you feel about them as individuals. When you listen to the things that they're saying, when you equip yourself with the data, you're trying to do it for self. It's not working. 47% of black business owners that are women earn $24,000 a year. You're not winning. You're losing. You're doing for self and you're losing. You're not employing people. You're not buying back the block. You're not doing any of the things that you think that you're doing. All you're doing is sitting up here and you're critiquing this man and calling him a coon and an agent because he just want to help Massa. Okay, well, show us the blueprint. I just asked that question. I want to ask the question again. Kwame Brown earned $64 million as an NBA player. Has he executed the STEM vision that he has? Why is he not executing it? Why is he not executing it? Why is he not giving Umar Johnson money for the school? Umar Johnson's trying to start a school for strong alpha males. So you got Boyce, you got Tariq, you got Young Pharaoh, you got Rizza Islam, you got all of these black personalities. Why all of them can't get together like the Avengers and formulate the pro-black Avengers? What's keeping y'all back? You're doing for self, right? Because all of you are telling me you're bosses. All of you are telling me you're winning. So why doesn't the data reflect the winning? Why can't you fix the water in Flint, Michigan? Right? Because you don't have the capital. You don't have the resources. And it's embarrassing to watch this stuff. We're going through the fourth industrial revolution right now. Everything's going digital. And this man is here talking about getting a trade when you can go and take OpenCourseWare and learn for free. You could go get an MIT education right now for free. You can get a Harvard education right now for free. But that's his solution. Right? Mama's Cooking has no solutions. Mama's Cooking is about sitting around being juvenile. You would think him and Boyce would get along. Him and Umar should get along. Him and Kevin Samuels should get along. All of these big black personalities. All of these people, telling you do for self. What problem can they fix? What are they solving? Ken Dog said, wow, fix the water in Flint, definitely disingenuous. So what can they fix? Okay, if they can't fix the water, they can't close the racial wealth gap, they can't stop police brutality, then what the fuck can they do? Help me understand. They can tap into the chakras, the dimensions. They know they can tap into the ancestors. They got all of this potential. You're telling me they got all of this knowledge from the ancestors. They can't fix the water. They can't get us reparations. They can't stop police brutality. They can't stop the school to prison pipeline. What can they do? Outside of talking all day long and spewing rhetoric, what can they do? What can they do? Right? Outside of attacking other black men and calling them coons, agents, Uncle Toms, Sambos, Bussy Warriors, making puppets, what can they do? Because if you're telling me all they can do is beef with each other, then why are you following them? Why are you following them? Because see, I sit here sometimes and I'm confused. I'm confused. $93,000 people watch this. 284,000 people watch this. What's the solution? Pure distraction, entertainment. But see, many of you like race entertainment. I'm just here to keep track of the score. Great. Malik the Immaculate. I love what you just said. So we should get skills to make ourselves more marketable to enrich some white man. Ain't too many employees out here that make billions. You don't have to make billions of dollars to be successful, number one. I never said that. We need better systems. We need people out here thinking and building a different system. Satoshi Nakamoto, when he created Bitcoin because he was trying to create a different system, because he realized that there was a systemic flaw with our money. Rather than sitting around here all day long and talking about who's a coon and going out here and doing for self, it's not about enriching white men. It's about gathering the resources necessary. And then it's about networking with other black men, playing along, or other black women, and then getting together and actually building something and doing something. But guess what? If you don't have capital, if you don't have the intellectual resource, then you're just wasting your time and you're just spewing empty rhetoric and you're just turning your circles. How do you get the skills? You know how you get the skills? By working in a Fortune 500 company or working for an employer, right? By making yourself more valuable in the marketplace. And then you sit down, right? And you think about deep problems like, how do we fix climate change? How do we fix poverty, right? How can we feed people better? How can we get our goods better, right? How can we make our groceries last longer, right? See, smart people sit down and they think about trying to solve problems. People like you just say, oh man, just you enrich a white man. It's not about enriching a white man. I just talked to you about creating a better system. We need a better system of government. We need a better system of money. That's what we need. Because if we're just sitting here just talking right now, we're not solving anything. Starting a business doesn't fix those problems. Guess what? You start a business that's not going to fix our money. That doesn't solve inflation. That doesn't fix fractional reserve banking. That doesn't get money out of politics. That doesn't stop pay to play. That doesn't fix climate change. That doesn't fix poverty throughout the world. See, I'm talking on a bigger level than you could ever understand. Because you're thinking on such a small juvenile level. You're thinking about trying to compete with the white man. What's about to happen in the world as we go through this fourth industrial revolution, as we go and we're starting to experience massive inflation, you're going to get to the point where there's no more middle class. There's going to be the haves and the have-nots. If we don't formulate a better system, better government, better food, better health, the way we treat our bodies, you're done. And he has no solutions. Empty rhetoric. And attacking Stephen A. Smith and just saying, go be a boss or start a business is not a solution. Not for the average person. For someone like myself, yes, I'm successful. I'm an outlier. I'm an outlier. It's disingenuous of me to think that I'm going to go into the South Bronx in New York, where a young kid, daddy's in jail, mama's working 2 jobs, barely getting by. And I'm going to tell him, man, all he got to do is just join my Tech Academy and I'm going to fix his problems. It's disingenuous of me to go to someone and tell them that I can help them fix the racial wealth gap. Because these problems wasn't created by people. They were created by systems and governments. It's foolishness. It's foolishness to say that. It's foolishness to sit up here and attack. We just got to build our own. Newsflash, if you're on YouTube, you're not building your own. If you're on Spotify, you're not building your own. If you're on Instagram, you're not building your own, and you're not doing for self. You're using someone's platform, a centralized platform that has control, that can cut you off at any time. I saw a few donations. Let me go back to the donations. And I agree with that. Isn't it true that an employer is only going to hire an employee if he is making more from him than he's paid? Of course. Duh, that's common sense. But some people are comfortable with being an employee. Why do we have to attack the employee? What is wrong with being an employee? Maybe the employer should start paying people better wages. Maybe we shouldn't have inflation. Maybe we should have sound money. See, this is the idiotic thing about it. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that, everybody should just be an employer. So then who's going to work for the companies? Who's going to ship your goods and services? Who's going to package them? Who's going to make your food? When you get sick, who's going to take care of you in the hospital? Who's going to build this webcam? Who's going to manufacture and put together this microphone? Who? The employer? You, the boss? Why do we have to dehumanize and demean people for working? Why can't we focus on trying to make the system more equitable and fair? But see, you don't want to have that conversation because that conversation requires work. And there's no easy fix to that. It's easy to sit up here and just, oh man, just go do for, you're doing for self and you're failing. You're not winning. Why not just cut out the middleman and work for self? Because number one, you're not cutting out the middleman. If Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN and he goes to Spotify, he's not cutting out the middleman. He's not cutting out a middleman. He's on a centralized platform. You ever heard of hate speech? You say things that they don't like. You're not cutting out the. I don't understand. As long as you're on a centralized platform, you're not cutting out middlemen. This is where cryptography comes into play. This is where decentralization comes into play. This is what Bitcoin and other systems are trying to do, right? We need to create better systems. But guess what? You still need employees. You need people to manage things and work and build things. And people should be paid a fair wage so that they can live. It shouldn't be this feudalistic system where you just, man, listen, you got to cut the middleman out. No, how about we create a better system? Great. Yes, ESPN can fire him and Spotify can deplatform him, just like they did Alex Jones, just like they did Farrakhan. What's your point? Even if you go and do your own thing, you're still not doing your own thing. Right? Somebody said, not many black businesses paying people $90K. Yes. And not many black businesses are earning $90K. We know what the data is telling you. Look at the data. This is the data. We know for a fact that 52% of black businesses, based upon the revenue, they're making less than $100K. We know that. We know that 76% of black businesses have less than 5 employees. You're not employing people. You all you're doing is you're leaving the quote unquote plantation and you own a job. We know this. This goes back to the racial wealth gap. White people have over $100 trillion worth of wealth in this country. We have less than 5. You're not going to bootstrap your way out of this. You need better government. You need better systems. You need accountability. Period. And it's just, it's embarrassing to sit up here and attack this man for simply saying that he's trying to make his boss's money so that he can get more of it. He's trying to get more resources. He's not saying, I just want to make Master some more money and I'm going to sit here. No, he said, I want to make you more money so I can get some of it, so I can be more valuable. Right? You're sitting up here saying he doesn't. I wake up every morning. Right here, he's attacking a white athlete. I'll play it for you again.
Of the worldwide leader, and a blackface at that, which is not something that you ever anticipated.
Is Jay Cutler right now not the epitome of white privilege in the United States of America? What did he do to deserve this job?
I wake up every morning.
Oh, he doesn't talk about white athletes. Come on, man. Like, these things sound stupid, man. Like, these things sound foolish. It's foolish rhetoric. It's empty rhetoric. Kwame Brown has no solutions. Like most of the pro-black hoteppers back to Africa, just empty rhetoric. So I'm going to take a few questions. Oh, that's soft. That's no attack. One word attack. You know, it's funny just looking at the comments, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you see why we're so far behind as a people, man. And this is why I constantly say, man, dark days are ahead. Not just for black people, but just for society as a whole, because we're binary thinkers, right? Many of us are not 3-dimensional thinkers and we're not problem solvers, right? Rather than us trying to figure out ways to create better systems, better forms of money, better ways of managing and, you know, managing people and gathering people and creating a better political system. Instead, what we want to do is we want to sit around here and we want to run from the problems, right? Or we want to create this system where as long as I get mine and everyone else is down here, that's all that matters. Right. Right. And it's just, it's sad to watch, man. It's sad to see. And this is why I said before, Minutes with Knowledge, I think Kevin Samuels would agree with all of your points. He debunks the I'm a business owner narrative quite often. Yeah, because many of these people are not business owners. They own a hobby. The data tells you that. The data, first of all, Yvette Carnell is a beast, man. Just give that lady her flowers. I don't care what you think about her. Give her flowers. Many of these quote unquote, these little t-shirt companies and things, they're not giving people health care, health insurance. They're not giving people, 401ks. They're subcontracting work, and they're paying people, just enough to get by, right? Or they're outsourcing most of their work. That's not a business. It's just not. I gave you the solution earlier, Rocky J. Why don't you go back and replay the video? I'm not gonna keep repeating the solution. Like, I'm not gonna keep saying that. Go back and replay it, right? And that's the reality about things, And then I want to play something about what that Boyce said, and I just want you to listen to. I want you to listen to how your pro-black thinks. I want to play this because, see, they're all they do is spew rhetoric and hate towards other black people, and I want you to hear what they have to say.
You have to be educated or have money. No, you just got to have the right mindset. I want to be around black people that actually want to connect and grow and build. I don't want to be part of the nigger net. I don't want to be part of the negativity. I don't give a shit about mama's cooking. I don't care about, I'm not going to sit here and call, just say all these things and think that somehow because I told a bunch of jokes that somehow means that I'm making real progress in the community. Jokes are not progress. Jokes means that you're an entertainer. And black people love entertainment. So that's why so many people love the platform, I'm sure. And I think that's all great. Good. So I'm not here to.
All right. So Boyce refers to you if you like the Kwame Brown platform that is part of the nigger net. And again, I'm not here. Notice I'm not personally attacking anyone. I'm picking apart their arguments and the logical train of thought that it just doesn't make any sense. So effectively, Boyce is supposed to be black first, B1. He's supposed to be about uniting people and bringing them together. Yet he refers to people that follow or like Kwame Brown as being part of the nigger net or being black people that like negativity, right? So it's funny to me when I listen to this stuff, right? Because again, all of these black personalities and none of them can get along because what they're preaching is impractical. It's not rooted in practicality. Umar Johnson can't get along with anyone. Young Pharaoh can't get along with anyone. Maybe one or two people here, but notice that these people can't come together in a collaborative way. So why are you listening to them? I wasn't talking about Stephen A. Smith. A dude is a 1% as an employee. I was talking about the rest of us. Example, as a company driver, I average $4,000 a month. A owner, I average $3,000 a week. See my point? I don't see your point, Malik. And I think you're missing my point. It doesn't matter if you own a business or not. The problem is the system that we're living in. We need a better system. We need better money. We need better government. People should be able to work, and there should be nobility in working. We should not dehumanize people because they have a job. The system that we're in, punishes the workers, punishes savers, and rewards asset holders because it's an inflation-based, debt-based system. We have a problem with our money. We have a problem with the Federal Reserve. We have a problem with inflation. I want good employees. I want a better tax system and a tax policy that I can pay my people. That's what I want. Right? What do you think all this crypto stuff's about? What do you think Satoshi? What do you think Vitalik? What do you think Charles? What do you think they're trying to create with Ethereum, with Cardano? They're trying to create more accountability and better systems. Because clearly what you're doing doesn't work. This person said, what type of half-ass solution is that? Starting a business isn't the solution because most of you are failing. Most of you are failing. So we know doing for self isn't a solution. We know that for a fact. We know doing for self. Now, I'm not telling you not to do for yourself. I'm not telling you I'm not saying to you that you should just go, listen, just sit around and just rot away. Do what you have to do. But understand that it's disingenuous for you to try to put that on everyone. And if you're one of the fortunate ones to be successful, be thankful, be blessed. Be thankful that you're blessed to be in a position that you're in, because the data says most of you are not. 70% of your businesses, 70% of small businesses fail within their first 10 years. Some say 90%. We know it's a high failure rate. And we know those of you that are successful are not earning a decent amount of money to even live. We know that. Mm-hmm. The incentive of being an employee, I'm going to say this one last time. The incentive of being an employee is that employees, on average, especially black employees, earn more than most of you black business owners. That's the reality. Let's see. I saw some earlier donations come through. I might have missed that. Damn, I'm sorry, guys. I missed some of your earlier donations. I'm sorry about that. I'll go for another 5 or 10 minutes. I agree. NBA players are employees. One of you asked me about the AMP token. I don't have, I haven't done enough research on the AMP token, so I couldn't give you a solid opinion. See questions. Yeah, Pat, they don't get it, and they'll never get it. But this is why Kwame Brown can have a platform that large. Okay, Rock J, listen to what you say. That's why you only have 291 followers. This is dumb talk. Number one, I don't have 291 followers. I actually have about 28,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have 291 concurrent viewers, meaning people that's viewing me right now, not people who are actually following me. So just trying to correct you. Again, I understand your literacy and your reading comprehension may be a little low, so I'm just gonna try to help you out. Maybe you can hear me better than you probably can read. So, but I mean that this is probably why you follow Kwame Brown. Sydney Gish says Eli made me thousands. No problem, man. I'm happy that I could be able to help you guys out, man. I'm happy that I could be able to do that. So, and for those of you who are wondering, I have my tech academy. I have an academy where I teach people about crypto and coding and technology and all of the things that's happening right now with this new digital wave that we're going through. And we have a free 3-day trial. Again, I didn't want to plug that, but some of you are talking about it, so I just wanted to bring it up. But I'm going to switch right off of that because, again, this is not about me trying to plug my business. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I don't need to plug my business. I agree, D'Anthony Sims. You says if you don't have over 100 employees, it's not a business, in my opinion. I wouldn't say 100. I would say for a small business, I would consider about having about between 10 to 20. I would consider you a small business, man. But like again, when I make great money with what I do, but I would never consider myself a business, right? Like I'm some type of a tycoon. If you're not employing multiple people and giving them, a livable salary, benefits, then you're not running no business. Many of these people online that you see capping, these people have hobbies and hustles, and like I said before, I'll always give her credit. Yvette helped me realize that just because you're doing well in your business doesn't mean that you're a businessman. You're not competing with the dominant society because you make $100,000 or $200,000 a year. Some of you think that like you're doing that's crumbs, peanuts. That ain't no money. Alexander Wilson, thank you for the donation. Says, I read the leaked synopsis of Matrix 4 and I feel like I'm not going to like it. It looks like a derivative of the first movie. Thoughts? I have not had a chance, honestly, Alexander Wilson. I've been really, really busy just with the academy and the new courses that I'm building and creating. I really haven't had a chance to really go through any of the Matrix stuff, to be quite honest with you, because with crypto, it's like all day long something new is happening and going on. Then I have some partnerships that I'm working on, and I had to be taking care of some legal stuff on the back end with that. So I just been real busy. But email me some information that you have or some videos or something like that, and I'll definitely take a look when I get a chance. Telcoin is one in my top 5 Buffalo gal. I think Telcoin is by far some really, really powerful technology, and they're making some serious inroads as far as legislation is concerned. So that's really, really good in Wisconsin. The remittance business is going to be big, and you have to think about it. Over about 1 billion people in the world don't even have a bank account. Like they don't have access to no banking services whatsoever, but they have access to cell phones, especially in parts of like Africa and like in Brazil and things of that nature. Like people who live in those big rural areas, they have cell phones, but they don't have adequate banking. They don't have adequate identity, so they don't even have adequate insurance and things of that nature. So the remittance market is already a big market. Ripple's trying to get, Ripple's been trying to promote that they're in the remittance market, but that's what Telcoin is going to basically do. Allow you to send remittances, basically send money cross border through people, through data plans rather than through bank accounts. So because think about it, a lot of people don't have MoneyGram or Western Union. So, but they have a cell phone. So being able to send payments back and forth and being able to take a small fee every time you do that, it's going to be really, really huge by basically just sending it to people through their through their cell phone service. That's going to be huge. It's the same thing with Chainlink. I tell you guys before how Chainlink is going to be able to facilitate and create so many business models for people in the third world or even the second world. Like here in America, we're very spoiled because we have access to adequate banking. We have multiple cell phone providers and carriers. We have 6 or 7 different major banks that we can go through. We can go to the DMV and just get, identity. There's parts of the world where the nearest bank is 20 miles away or 10 miles away, but they have access to a cell phone. So they need these type of services to be mobile, to be digital. Or you look at like other places in the world that are experiencing hyperinflation, being able to have access and go around your government and go around a lot of the controls and barriers that they put in place. And being able to do that in a decentralized way, in a peer-to-peer way, is going to be extremely powerful. And Chainlink being able to provide data into these protocols is going to allow entrepreneurs to create different cryptocurrency protocols and facilitate and service those people in those areas and go around and skirt government rules and regulations in some of these dictatorships. Why are you growing skeptical of Chainlink, the Anthony Sims? I don't know about AMP. Like a lot of you keep asking me a dream out loud. I have not looked at the AMP project. There's over 8,000 cryptocurrencies. I only focus on the ones that I feel actually have promising technology. The beautiful thing about competition is competition keeps everyone on their feet. So I don't mind if AMP is trying to get into the same space as a Telcoin. That's a beautiful thing. Just like we have Sprint, we have Verizon, we have T-Mobile. Like competition is good. I'm not like John D. Rockefeller. I don't believe competition's a sin. I think competition is good. It keeps the developers honest. It keeps the networks honest. It keeps you innovating and it keeps you focusing and looking forward. Because there's a lot of money at stake. So a lot of these crypto projects, if they get a lot of money up front and they don't have any competition, people can get lazy. So it's good that if AMP is getting into space. I'm an athlete, right? So I love competition. Let's see what gas fees are right now, D'Anthony Sims. When you say the Origin token, are you talking about TRAC, TRAC? Because that's one of my favorite projects as well. Let's pull up. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Boom. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Are you talking about TRAC, track? I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, gas fees. Gas fees are cheap right now. What are you talking about? Let's look at ETH gas station. I don't know. Gas fees are not high right now. Yeah, gas fees are not high. Right now, we're talking about non-GUE. Gas fees are not high. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Gas fees are dirt cheap. So I don't understand or know what you guys are talking about. So gas fees have dramatically fallen. So I guess maybe you're just trolling. I don't know. Joel Hogan, XLM is basically Ripple 2.0. It is centralized technology. That technology is not at all robust. XLM has multiple problems. I mean, I could do a whole video breaking down the problems with XLM. I am not a fan of XLM or XRP. I believe that those are basically schemes to enrich the executives that are behind those projects. Well, Tom Mack, right? See this is what you gotta think about, right? When you look at VeChain versus Origin Trail, it really just comes down to market cap for me, right? So, if we go here, we go VeChain. So, if we look at logistics, right? What it really just comes down to market cap. It's really easy. So the market cap for VeChain is $5 billion, and the market cap for Origin Trail is $93 million, right? So it's really just a matter of risk versus reward. In order for you to get a 10x on VeChain would have to be a $50 billion cryptocurrency. In order for you to get a 10x on Origin Trail, it only has to be a $900 million cryptocurrency, right? So it takes less money to move the price of Origin Trail, right? So when I look at Matic or VeChain, like I've already taken a lion's share of my money out of there, right? So I'm looking for lower cap cryptocurrencies that are competitors to the larger cap cryptocurrencies, but they have a smaller market cap, so they have more room to run. So that's how I look at it. So it's not even about whether or not Origin Trail is better than VeChain. It's just about risk and reward at this point, right? I have way more reward to gain in Track than I do in VeChain. I'm not saying that VeChain's a bad project, just simply saying how I'm looking at things right now. So, because at the end of the day, VeChain does have some nice partnerships. So you can't discredit that either. You can't discredit that, right? What's going on, Pocket Watch with JT? Thanks for the donation, appreciate it. And guys, go and give Pocket Watch with JT a follow. He's an accountant, and he definitely approaches information from an accountant's perspective, and really helps you kind of understand what you're looking at, so that you can make better financial decisions and just better decisions in terms of who and what you support. I just think that that's really important. Being equipped with data and information, we have to get to the point where we stop listening to empty rhetoric, and we have to start listening to people that actually have substance. We spend too much time listening to just rhetoric. Like I say, Kwame Brown, what is the point of what he's saying? Like, he's not exposing something that we don't already know. Like we've known about the Boule for a long time. We've learned about secret societies for a long time. We know about people who have connections. We've been known about these things. right? What are your solutions, right? Because if your solution is just go and get a trade, well, we have Khan Academy and MIT OpenCourseWare for that. We don't need, right? We don't need to go get a trade in that. It's a let's shoot the. I'm just gonna say let's shoot. I'm not gonna say the last thing. It's a business entity, right? But is it a competitive business, right? Like a sole proprietorship, right? Or a LLC is just an entity. Like anyone can form a corporation. In the marketplace, how effective is that business? How competitive is that business? How much revenue does that business earn? How many employees does that business have? Right? Because when we look at the data is telling us that as Black people, 52% of our businesses, according to the Federal Reserve's data, earned less than $100,000. And 76% of Black businesses surveyed in this credit report, this lending report and survey, they have less than 5 employees. Creating a legal entity is not hard. You can go on LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer, you can file it for free. Creating a business, anyone can do that. The question is your business competitive? Does your business earn revenue? Are you making an impact in your community? Are you employing people and paying them livable wages, right? Or do you just have a hobby and a hustle? Right? Now, I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. So now, dread passion. I don't want to hear about the charitable deeds. What I want to hear is I want something quantifiable. What? Not who are you helping? Like, okay, I helped you. Okay, with the rhetoric that you're spewing, how can we quantify if the rhetoric that you're spewing actually is beneficial to the community? Meaning, if you're talking about we need to compete with the dominant society, right? I'm not talking about the charitable nice things that you're doing. He's a multimillionaire. I'm pretty sure that his accountant is recommending certain tax breaks and things that he should be donating to. Come on, let's have a high level conversation here. If a person's telling you, don't do this, do this, at what point do we need to come back and reevaluate what this person's telling us? And then ask ourselves, is this really making an impact and a change? Right? So if you start a school, what's the graduation rate of that school? What colleges are those kids then graduating and going to? What companies and Fortune 500 companies are they going to be employed by? Or what businesses are they going to go on to start? Like, we need to be able to quantify and measure things. Like going out and handing out turkeys like Nino Brown. Great. You handed out some turkeys. We got rappers and drug dealers handing out turkeys. Great. You did something nice. Can we quantify how that's going to impact a person? Meaning, if I invest this in you, what's going to be the multiple that we get out of the rhetoric that you're spewing? Because if you're just talking and okay, you're making some impact in a few people's lives, hell, we got the Boys and Girls Club that do that. We got plenty of organizations, youth organizations in our communities right now. That's not making any structural change. Right? When Umar Johnson says that he's creating a school, he's saying that the curriculum that the kids are going to go through is going to completely shift and change Black boys going forward. That's going to keep them out of the prison, out of the school to prison pipeline. So then what we should be able to do within 5 years or within 10 years is we need to be able to go back now and say, did the statistics of Black boys going from high school to prison, did it decrease or increase? We have to get to a point where we can start quantifying things and not measuring things because they look nice or they make you feel good, but we can actually quantify. Like when we look at this data, right? This data, I don't care what Your homie from around the corner is telling you. I don't care what the people on Instagram are telling you. The data is telling you that 76% of the businesses surveyed by the Federal Reserve that are black, they have less than 5 employees. That's quantifiable. That's objective. So I don't want to hear about the onesies and twosies. When we look at an aggregate amount of data, an aggregate amount of people, we can say to ourselves, most of you are failing. When we hear that 47% of female black businesses earn $24,000 or less, that's quantifiable. So we can quantify that the do for self strategy doesn't work. When I come to you and I say that white people have $100 trillion worth of wealth and we only have less than $5 trillion worth of wealth, and now we start talking about the racial wealth gap, we need to talk about quantifiable things so that we can come back 5 years from now and we can say, guess what? I was on Eli's podcast, I joined his academy, and I followed his instructions. On aggregate, how many people did we impact that begin to accrue more wealth? What happened to the overall racial wealth gap? This is the way that we have to start thinking. We have to stop thinking in terms of our perspective and what we can see. We have to start thinking about the things that we can't see, because that's what data tells you. Great, he brought some land. Great. That's nice. There's a lot of people buying land. How is that changing white supremacy? How is that changing the school to prison pipeline? How is that closing the racial wealth gap? Right? Because if you're talking about structural issues, then how are you going to solve structural problems? Right? Like, seriously, like it gets to the point when you just listen to people and you start saying to yourself, like, these people don't have solutions for the community. They have solutions for individuals here or there. They don't have solutions for the overall community. They just don't. Wow, land is money. How many people can live on that land? He brought $300,000 worth of land. Let's look what the person said, right? Let's where's the person at? Where's the person at? I can't see it. Trying to find what this person said. I can't see what this person just said. It says donations. Eli said a year ago. I can't see what the person just said to that. I can't find the comment. She said something about $300,000. I'm assuming, I'm paraphrasing. I think she said $300,000 worth of land. All these entertainers are gaslighting you. I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. Yeah, I missed it. You can't deny that whatever made gains as a people, it only when a rebel against the dominant society. That's the square we need to stay on. Listen, Malik the Immaculate, you can stand on whatever square you want to. Brother, I'm not here to tell you what square you should or should not stand on. I'm just here to keep track of the score. See, Malik the Immaculate, I'm just here when you spew certain things and you say certain things, right? You just need a person to keep track of the score. Right? Umar Johnson's been trying to create a school. You don't see me bothering him. I'm not making videos. I'm not attacking him. I'm just saying it's been 10 years. At what point do you say it's been a failure? Right? See, the problem is you want us to play to your aspirations, right? And listen to your pro-black rhetoric. But then you don't want us to hold that pro-black rhetoric accountable, right? Like, again, this is where objectivity comes into play. This is where living in a 5 sense reality comes into play. If you're spewing rhetoric then I should see that these numbers should change, right? Like if you have a blueprint and you have a plan that you think that black people should abide by and follow, then a person like myself, I'm only here to keep track of score. That's all. So I'm keeping track of score, and I'm saying to you that you calling Stephen A. Smith a coon because he'd rather stay on the plantation, those of you who are leaving the plantation, you're feeling even worse. Like your bootstrappers, do-for-selfers, y'all are doing worse. That's all. Just keeping track of score. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to stop you. There we go right here. It says Kwame is doing something, and he has. He is just one man of the few. Spelled it wrong, but it's okay. He just paid under $300K for some land to start something for black kids. Great. Another person starting something for black kids. Great. Right? We have a lot of people doing that. I mean, Umar's doing that. Umar Johnson bought some land in Wilmington, Delaware. There are no kids in the school yet. Right? Now you said Kwame Brown is just one man. Great. Let's start somewhere. I said this earlier. So there's this movie called The Avengers, right? And the way that the movie The Avengers, the way that the movie works, the premise is that, you know, you have Thor, you have Iron Man, you have the Hulk, you have all of these powerful characters individually, right? But they're fighting this big global galactic threat and Thanos. So what they have to do is they have to come together so that they can beat the big galactic threat. So why don't the Hoteppers, the Back to Africas, the Red, Black, and Greens, the B1s, why don't all of them get together like the Avengers, right? Like you can have Umar, Polite, Pharaoh, Brother Ben X, who else you have? Kwame Brown, Stephen A. Smith. They can all get together like the Avengers and solve the problem, right? Because he's just one man, right? Iron Man couldn't beat Thanos by himself, right? So you had to put them all together. So why not form the Avengers and bring all of the Hoteppers together? We could have the Hotep Avengers, and they all can like you know how they have the headquarters for the Avengers. They have the shield base. FDMG could be one of the operational bases, and then you could have the other operation base at Kwame Brown headquarters. People are funny, man. No. I'm not a part of. I'm not a part of the Hotep Avengers, the Back to Africa Avengers, the B1 Avengers. Yeah, Wakanda. I forgot about the Black Panther too. Sorry about that. Oh. So we're coming by an hour and 30 minutes, man. Oh man. She said, a corny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm corny. Rock J. I wish I could be like Kwame Brown and sprinkle some of that mama's cooking, man. I wish I could do that, but you know, I can't. Group economics. That's the power. That's the infinity gauntlet. Group economics. Oh man. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I'm just going to simply say this. Listen, man, I'm not here to attack Kwame Brown. I'm here to push back on the narrative that somehow Stephen A. Smith is a coon because he's trying to figure out a way to be more valuable in the marketplace and get more money. I'm here to push back on the narrative that somehow, we're just going to do black business and we're going to be competitive and we're going to buy back the block. You guys have been doing that and you've been failing terribly. The data and the statistics tell you that you're not winning at doing that. So clearly that's not a solution. The problem is our systems, our system of government, our system of money, and we need better systems. We should not have a system where we attack people for working a job. You cannot live in this world without having employees, right? Employees should be able to earn a livable salary, a livable wage. We need to get rid of this inflation-based, fraction reserve, debt-based system that we live in. That's the problem. Running away from that's not going to fix it, because again, many of you, I know that it sounds good to just go be your own boss, but many of you really just own a hobby, an underfunded hobby at that. And we just need to start being real with our people about the realities that entrepreneurship is hard. It's not easy. Most of you are going to fail at doing it. And my channel is based around entrepreneurship and technology and being in business. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you that, these people, whether it's Boyce, whether it's Kwame, it's entertaining. It's funny. It's entertainment. It's funny. It's entertaining to listen to, but they don't have any solutions whatsoever. As I said before, Kwame, he'll attack Stephen A. Smith, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes. He has no smoke for Viacom because he knows better. He understands that if he mentions Bruce Gilmore or Tom Gork or Kevin K, it'd be a problem. See, he understands he doesn't want none of their mamas cooking. And this idea that, just leave ESPN and go start your own thing, you're still on a plantation. Spotify still tells you what you can and can't say. They control how much you make. They can change the payment scales on you at any time, like YouTube does it all the time. So just be mindful of these things, man. Multifaceted. We must be the same. Excuse the misspelling. I'm driving. Say every black person in America becomes a billionaire following your doctrine. What's going to stop the dominant society from snatching everything? It's not one or the other. White supremacy. Again, I'm going to say this one last time for you, Malik. That's why we need a better system. Because, see, if you have a cryptographic system, if you have a decentralized system, if you have a peer-to-peer system, if you have a system that's governed by rules and not rulers, where code is law, they can't snatch everyone's money, right? Because no one's in control of the ledger. This is where distributed ledger technology comes into play, right? See, solutions to the things that you're talking about, not rhetoric. Number one, everyone becoming a billionaire is not the problem, right? The problem is, how do we manage the resources that we have? The problem is, why does our money inflate at a 3% rate annually? Why can't we create a better system with no inflation? Why can't we create a system with no debt? Right? Why can't we create a more manageable system, a more humane system? Right? A system that's governed by technology, by cryptography. Right? That's the power of technology. That's the power of crypto. That's one solution. Government cannot be everywhere at all times. White supremacy can't be all places at all times. But again, I hope that I can, just educate you guys a little bit. But yeah, Rock J, I don't have any solutions whatsoever, man. How was I wrong about Ripple? Ripple did not make a new all-time high. Ripple is trading at 60 cents right now. Every cryptocurrency has made an all-time high, a new all-time high. Every single cryptocurrency. So, and just to prove you wrong, right? Ripple is still struggling to reclaim its old all-time high. Let's go XRP. Right, I'll wrap it up with that. Here we go. XRP tethers. Let's pull up the chart. Right, because see, again, I can factually prove these things. Right, every other cryptocurrency has reclaimed their all-time high. Ripple's trading at 52 cents. It's not trading above its all-time high of $2. So if you've been holding Ripple since 2017, you're down money. Well, hold on. Let me correct that. Ripple right now is, I think make sure I'm saying the correct thing, because I could be wrong here. I want to make sure I'm correct, because I will apologize if I'm incorrect. But I believe that I am. Hold on. I don't believe XRP made a new all-time high, but it could be. And I could be incorrect. Nope, I'm not incorrect. Here we go. So XRP's all-time high is $3.40 back here. Ripple got to half of that and tanked. Had to go back further. I was looking at a daily chart. Let's go back to a weekly. My bad. If you look at a weekly chart, this is better so that you can see it. Ripple's all-time high was $3.26. Ripple topped out at $2 and tanked. It didn't even break its all-time high. How am I wrong about that? You're still underwater. If you were in Ripple back here, you're underwater. Just saying. Now, let's compare that to my coins that I've been talking about. You know, let's compare it to my coins that I've been talking about. Ethereum USD. Let's look at the chart. So let's compare it to my chart, right? So now let's compare Ripple to my coin, right? So my coin back here. Let's look at my picks and what they've actually went out here and were able to accomplish. So this was the peak of 1433. And guess what Ethereum did? It broke above 1500 and it ran all the way up to 4400. So smashed its all-time high. Ripple hasn't reclaimed its all-time high. Just saying. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin topped out here, 19,000, 20,000. Bitcoin smashed its all-time high, ran all the way up to 64,000. So all my coins have greatly outperformed XRP. Freedom NMC, I'll do you a favor, right? You no longer have to come to the anti-black hate that I have. I'll just remove you. Wow, Bryce, when did I ever talk about Black Wall Street? Maybe I'm missing something. Did I mention Black Wall Street? Did I mention Black Wall Street today? I don't think I did. Bryce XPX, are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Maybe you're talking to someone in the chat, Bryce, or are you talking to me? Oh, okay. I was to say. You could say I was wrong about Dogecoin temporarily. I'll give you that. I'll take the L on Dogecoin. Dogecoin was the best performing cryptocurrency of 2021 so far, right? And of 2020. The question is, do you think that Dogecoin will finish 2021 as the top performing cryptocurrency? Do you think that Dogecoin is going to reclaim $1? Or do you think that Dogecoin is going to go and tank down to 3 cents? Do you think that most of Dogecoin holders are actually in profit? Or do you think that most Dogecoin holders are actually losing money? Right? So remember, we shall see. But all of my picks have at least 3x'd, 4x'd. Some of them did a 60x. I've been in Ethereum since it was $40. I've been talking about Ethereum on this channel since it was $100. Verified, stamped fact. Ethereum from $100 up to $4,000. That's a 40x on your money. Let's put some respect on my name. Okay? Put some respect on my name. Litecoin is another one, Blob Dylan. Let's just look at Litecoin. Look at the price action in Litecoin. See, this tells you a lot about a particular cryptocurrency, because Litecoin is just like XRP. Look at this. This is the high of 2017. Back here, the high is what, $370, and then the high here is 318. No, this is $413. So look, it barely broke above its high and then it tanked. So what you want to see is, you want to see that it smashes above its all-time high and it pushes higher. Like, many of you are still underwater from 2017 in Litecoin. It's the same as XRP. Like if you're sitting in XRP and Litecoin right now, you've been in there since 2017, you're still losing money from the previous blow of top that we had. That's not good. That's not good. Right? So I want you to be mindful of these things that you're looking at, right? So, you know, as I said before, when you think about quick and cheap payments, you have stable coins now. So it changes the game. It completely changes the game of stable coins. And you have algorithmic stable coins like DAI. And then you have collateral based stable coins like Tether that are centralized in USDC. But you still have stable coins, and they're quick, they're easy, and they're efficient, and they're pegged to the dollar. So if you're a person that's living in, you know, one of these, you know, remittance-based countries like Mexico, it makes more sense for you just to facilitate commerce or send money back and forth to each other with a stable coin. Right? So, and then Bitcoin right now with the Lightning Network, with Strike, I believe it's Strike. Yeah, because Stripe is centralized. So you have Strike. With Strike, you can buy and sell Bitcoin, right, for fractions of a penny, and in some cases free, depending on where you're located at. And you can send it to each other for a fraction of a penny, right? So this technology, as it gets more, you know, it iterates and gets better, the fees are getting dramatically cheaper. So like when I look at a Litecoin, I say to myself, if I have the Lightning Network, why do I need Litecoin? Right? If I have a stable coin, why do I need Litecoin? Right? Like, so like as the more you educate yourself on this technology and the better you get about this, right? Like you start to realize more and more that a lot of these coins, they're useless. They have no real, you know, need. Right? Like, so like Mr. G said, Lightning kills most altcoin models. It just does. Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is an extremely, it's a store of value. I don't see people really spending their Bitcoin like that, but if you want to, you have things like Strike that makes it easy to do so. So, you know what, Todd Mac, I would say that Matic is one of my better calls, but I still think Ethereum in the end, I think Ethereum and Chainlink in the end is going to be superior, right? So, yeah, no one is afraid of Kwame Brown, because Kwame Brown has no solutions. What is Kwame Brown going to do? Roast me? Right? Like, come on! Like at a certain point, you just like, ooh, he's going to roast me. He's going to tell some jokes. Guess what? Those jokes that he's going to tell, it's not going to change the data. It's not going to impact the data. Right? All of you do for selfers, it's not going to change the data. So, going to wrap it up here, guys. Go and watch Bus Life. Let's go tune in and see what he has to say. Aquana, you've been around long enough. I'll let you go. Thank you for the donation, Automated CPA. Have a good night, everyone. Tomorrow we'll be back talking about crypto, guys.